Do you ever feel like you're stuck in an endless loop? Every morning you drive to the office, trapped in traffic, then spend 8 hours at work just to pay bills and credit card debt at the end of the month. People keep telling you, just save, invest 10% into your retirement account, and in 40 years you'll finally be free. But think about it. Are you sure you'll even have the health to enjoy that dream when you're 65? Or will you end up like millions of other Americans, working hard your whole life, yet never truly free? That's the harsh reality MJ DeMarco exposes in his book, The Millionaire Fastlane. He argues that all the so-called safe advice we grew up believing is really just a trap that wastes our best years. And if you want to become wealthy while you're still young, if you want to live life on your own terms, you have to step off that slow path and onto something faster, smarter, the fast lane. In this audiobook summary, I'll walk you through the breakthrough ideas from the book, showing why 90% of Americans are heading down the wrong financial road and how you can take control and rewrite your own future. If you're ready to break free from that endless cycle, then this video is exactly for you. Don't forget to hit like to support this content and subscribe so you won't miss other book summaries, books that can change your mindset, your career, and even your financial life. Part 1. The Illusion of the Slow Lane. In The Millionaire Fastlane, MJ DeMarco explains that the path most Americans are on is what he calls the slow lane, the slow, steady road that society paints as safe and secure. It's the lifestyle we were taught since childhood. Study hard, get a college degree, land a stable job, save 10% of your income, invest in a 401k or IRA, and patiently wait until you're 65 to finally enjoy life. Sounds reasonable, right? But DeMarco reveals a harsh truth. It's an illusion. Think about it. You spend 40 years of your youth, the very best years of your life, waiting for a distant day that may never come. How many Americans do you know who retire with $1 million in the bank but are burdened with diabetes, heart disease, or simply too exhausted to travel, to explore, to really live? That's not freedom, that's a trap. A trade-off where you exchange your youth for a vague promise of a future you may never get to enjoy. DeMarco calls the slow lane the millionaire wealth lottery ticket. You work, you save, you hope the stock market always goes up, and you pray the economy doesn't crash right before you retire. But that's all it is, hope. And when your financial future depends on chance, you're not really in control. Look around America and you'll see the slow lane everywhere. A 50-year-old man still grinding away to pay off his mortgage, a 60-year-old woman hoping she has enough money to survive just a few years after retirement, or a 30-year-old saving every penny for some faraway future. They're all comforted by the same message: just keep going, someday it'll all work out. But the truth is, there's no guarantee it ever will. The powerful message here is this: if you stick to the slow road, you're not really living your life, you're postponing it, waiting for a miracle that may never happen. The Millionaire Fastlane warns us that the slow lane doesn't lead to financial freedom, it simply makes you sacrifice your entire life for a reward that often comes too late. Part 2. The Sidewalk. Fake freedom, real debt. If the slow lane is the slow but safe path, then the sidewalk is another trap, one that's even more dangerous. This is the life where you spend every dollar you earn without a second thought for tomorrow. Sidewalkers live by the motto, you only live once, so why worry about the future? They buy cars they can't really afford, swipe their credit cards for luxury vacations, chase designer clothes and the newest iPhone, anything to fill the emptiness they feel right now. And the result? Mountains of debt, empty bank accounts, and the crushing weight of financial stress. DeMarco calls the sidewalk the road to financial instability. A person on the sidewalk can actually make a lot of money. Maybe they're a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer pulling in a six-figure salary, but if their spending always outpaces their income, if they don't own assets that generate real wealth, then one single event, like losing a job, going through a divorce, or getting hit with a massive medical bill, can send them spiraling into crisis. The sidewalk isn't freedom. It's fake freedom, like standing on a thin sheet of ice that looks solid but cracks the moment pressure hits. Look around America and you'll see the sidewalk everywhere. A young couple in New York making $150,000 a year, but still living paycheck to paycheck because they're juggling a mortgage, student loans, and a lifestyle of luxury just to keep up with their friends. Or people buying the newest Tesla while not even having $5,000 saved for an emergency. American consumer culture feeds this behavior with flashy ads, easy credit, and relentless status competition. But behind the shiny facade lies a life filled with stress, sleepless nights, and constant anxiety. The lesson DeMarco drives home is clear. The sidewalk is not the path for anyone who wants true wealth and freedom. It might give you short-term excitement, but in the end, it leaves deep financial scars. If you keep living this way, you're not just standing still, you're actually moving backwards. And with every step, you're sinking deeper into debt and losing your chance to truly take control of your life. Part 3. The Fast Lane, a mindset to steer your life. While the slow lane makes you wait 40 years to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and the sidewalk traps you in a cycle of debt, the fast lane is something entirely different. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme like winning the lottery or joining a pyramid scam. Instead, it's a way of thinking and acting that allows you to create massive value in a shorter time frame through the power of business, systems, and leverage. DeMarco makes it clear, to step into the fast lane, you must shift your perspective. Slow lane thinkers trade their time for money, while fast laners use their time to build assets that generate ongoing income, even when they're not working. Instead of asking, how can I get a better job, they ask, how can I solve a problem for millions of people? That shift in mindset makes all the difference. The core principle is simple. The more value you create for others, the more money flows back to you as a natural reward. Take a familiar American example, Jeff Bezos. When he was working on Wall Street, he could have stayed in the slow lane, saving diligently, investing for the long term, and waiting for retirement. But instead, he chose the fast lane by founding Amazon, solving the problem of convenient shopping for hundreds of millions of people. The result, in just a few decades, Bezos became one of the wealthiest individuals on Earth. Not because he worked harder than everyone else, but because he built a scalable system that ran 24/7 even while he slept. But the fast lane isn't just for tech billionaires. Ordinary people can apply it too if they know how to create and scale value. A US teacher, for example, might design an online SAT prep course. Instead of helping only 30 students in a classroom, that course could reach tens of thousands of students nationwide. A chef could start a YouTube channel sharing recipes and within a few years turn it into a brand, publishing cookbooks, selling kitchen products, and building a loyal audience. The more people you serve, the faster the doors to financial freedom open. The core of the fast lane is this: wealth doesn't come from pinching pennies. It comes from creating assets and systems that can generate large cash flows in a shorter period of time. It doesn't promise overnight riches, but it does give you the chance to reach financial freedom in 5, 10, or 15 years rather than waiting until the end of your life. DeMarco's message is crystal clear. If you truly want to steer your life in a new direction, stop thinking like an employee who saves until death and start thinking like a creator who brings value to society. The fast lane is the choice for those who want to live freely, not just exist inside a gilded cage. Part 4. The 5 Commandments of the Fast Lane, a framework for building wealth. MJ DeMarco doesn't just say, get on the fast lane. He gives us a clear framework called the 5 Commandments of Wealth, 5 principles that guide you toward financial freedom. Ignore them, and your fast lane journey could collapse before it even starts. The first commandment is control. You can't build lasting wealth if your future depends entirely on someone else. For example, if you sell products on Amazon, but your entire business relies on Amazon's policies, a single rule change could wipe out your income overnight. That's why DeMarco stresses, in the fast lane, you must keep your hands on the wheel. You own the system, and you control the value you create. The second commandment is entry.
If an opportunity is so easy that anyone can jump in, the profits will be small. Take coffee shops in America. It's so simple to open one that you see them on every street corner. But competition is brutal. Margins are thin, and owners often end up working 12-hour days just to survive. The fast lane requires choosing a tougher entry point, one that fewer people can access. That difficulty becomes the barrier that protects your wealth. The third commandment is need. This is the heart of it all. If your product or service doesn't solve a real pain point or fulfill an actual need, it won't last. Americans often say, follow your passion, but DeMarco pushes back. Passion is just seasoning. True value comes from meeting the market's needs. If you invent an app that helps US students pay off student loans faster, that's the fast lane, because you've tapped into a deep, genuine problem. The fourth commandment is scale. You can't live the fast lane life by serving only a handful of customers. You need a system that reaches thousands, even millions. Think about Uber. In just a few years, it didn't just make calling a taxi easier for a few people, it expanded worldwide, serving hundreds of millions of rides. The bigger your scale, the greater your impact, and money flows in naturally. And finally, the fifth commandment is time. Fast laners don't trade time for money. They build systems that generate income even while they sleep. This could be a company, a website, an app, or a digital product. Instead of working 40 hours a week for a paycheck, they spend 40 hours building a machine that keeps running and paying long into the future. When you step back, all 5 commandments revolve around one truth. The more value you deliver to more people through a system you control, the faster financial freedom arrives. While many Americans remain stuck paying off credit cards, waiting for the next paycheck, or hoping for an early retirement, the fast lane shows there's another way, the way of creators. And these 5 commandments are the compass to keep you from losing your direction on that journey. Part 5. The mistakes in pursuing wealth. Why most people fail. MJ DeMarco is blunt. The reason most people never achieve financial freedom isn't because they're dumb or lazy. It's because they've been on the wrong path from the very start. Americans are often taught that if you study hard, get a degree, land a stable job, save 10% of your income, and invest for the long term, you'll eventually get rich. Sounds logical, right? But that's the slow lane trap. The problem is, life doesn't wait for you. Accidents, illness, job loss, or inflation can strike at any time, and suddenly, that retirement dream 40 years down the road vanishes into thin air. Another huge mistake is chasing lottery tickets to wealth, from buying actual lottery tickets to falling for magical get-rich-quick opportunities. DeMarco calls this the lottery ticket mentality. It drives people to gamble, throw money into trending crypto coins, or jump into Ponzi schemes that promise the world only to lose everything. The truth, real, lasting wealth, never comes from luck. It comes from building real value for other people. Perhaps the most common mistake in America is obsessing over cutting expenses instead of increasing your value. Sure, you can skip Starbucks and save a few bucks a day, but that will never make you rich. DeMarco mocks the idea, saying you can't walk your way to wealth by giving up a $5 coffee while fast laners are busy creating enough value to earn $5,000 in a single morning. In other words, don't obsess over saving pennies, obsess over how you can serve more people and create bigger value. And finally, one of the most deadly mistakes is equating a job with safety. In the US, many believe that having a full-time job with benefits and a 401k means they're secure, but DeMarco warns, you've placed your entire financial future in your boss's hands. One round of layoffs, one economic downturn, or one company bankruptcy, and that so-called safety disappears overnight. True freedom only comes when you're in control, when you own a system that no one can take away from you. DeMarco's message couldn't be clearer. Most people fail because they choose the wrong road, or they cling to illusions of safety and luck. Only when you abandon those traps and embrace the fast lane with a mindset of value and control do you finally give yourself a real chance at wealth and freedom.
Part 6. The fast lane lifestyle, freedom, responsibility, and trade-offs.
One of the biggest misconceptions about the fast lane is that many people think it means get rich quick or enjoy instant luxury. DeMarco was clear. The fast lane isn't for dreamers, it's for those willing to take responsibility and make trade-offs. You might work 12 to 14 hours a day building your own business while your friends are partying or binge-watching Netflix. But the difference is this: the work you do today isn't to pay this month's bills, it's to build a system that can pay bills for the rest of your life. Think about American success stories like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. In Amazon's early days, Bezos worked out of a garage, hauling boxes of books, earning little to no salary with zero stability. Yet he was laying the foundation for a massive system serving hundreds of millions of customers worldwide. Or Elon Musk, who was willing to sell his first company to pour everything into SpaceX and Tesla, living in a modest rented apartment and eating instant noodles. That's the fast lane mindset. Taking responsibility for your dream, daring to trade short-term comfort for creating massive long-term value. The key is that the fast lane isn't instant freedom, it's freedom that's built. When you create a company, an online platform, or a product that solves problems for thousands of people, you're building an income machine that keeps running even when you rest. And that's real freedom. Not freedom to be lazy, but freedom to choose. You can travel across the US, spend more time with family, or continue creating what you love. However, DeMarco also warns, the fast lane isn't for everyone. It requires discipline, responsibility, and resilience under pressure. No one will hand you this freedom. You have to earn it. But once you get past the initial struggle, the rewards far exceed anything the slow lane could promise. The message is clear. The fast lane isn't easy, but it's the only path to true control and freedom. It teaches that you don't have to wait until 65 to live your life. You can start now if you're willing to pay the price. Part 7. From Theory to Action, Starting the Fast Lane in the Age of AI. MJ DeMarco emphasizes that the fast lane mindset only matters when you turn it into concrete action. Knowing why you want to be wealthy isn't enough. You have to start building your own value-generating machine. And in 2025, opportunities have never been broader. AI is transforming nearly every industry, from marketing and content creation to logistics, healthcare, and finance. Slow lane thinkers worry that AI will take their jobs, while fast laners see it as the ultimate leverage to create value for millions. You can see this clearly in real-world examples. In the US, young entrepreneurs with just a laptop are using AI tools to write books, create online courses, design SaaS software, or build digital services that solve real problems for thousands of customers. Instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of research, an individual can now use AI to create a prototype in weeks, launch it, and rapidly improve based on feedback. This is the fast lane spirit. Accelerating growth by leveraging technology rather than being left behind by it. DeMarco also stresses a core principle. Start with other people's needs, not your personal passion. If you want to succeed in the fast lane of 2025, don't ask, "What do I enjoy?" Instead, ask, "What problems are people facing that I can solve using AI or a system I build?" From there, opportunities abound. AI applications helping small business owners manage finances, platforms improving online learning for students, or AI services saving American families time on childcare and household tasks. The more value you deliver to more people, the more money flows naturally in return. Of course, starting the fast lane doesn't mean quitting your job tomorrow. You can begin in parallel, launch small projects, test ideas, create an MVP, minimum viable product, and gradually scale. The most important thing is to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a founder, a system creator. And in the AI era, the potential for an ordinary person to generate extraordinary value has never been greater. DeMarco's ultimate message is clear. The fast lane isn't just a book, it's an invitation. An invitation to break free from the slow, illusion-filled road and step onto the path where you can actively shape your own destiny. And in 2025, if you're willing to embrace AI as a tool and combine it with the fast lane mindset, you may achieve financial freedom sooner than you ever imagined. MJ DeMarco's The Millionaire Fastlane isn't just a book about getting rich, it's a wake-up call. It reveals a hard truth. You'll never achieve financial freedom if you stay on the slow lane. Instead, you must build your own system, create value for thousands or even millions of people, and let money flow back as a natural reward for your efforts. In 2025, with AI and technology, opportunities have never been more accessible. But the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck comes down to one question: will you take action today? If you found this video valuable, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll bring you more audiobook summaries that can help you move faster on your journey to financial freedom. And remember, your life doesn't have to wait until you're 65 to truly begin. It can start the moment you choose to step into the fast lane.